Hey everybody, welcome back to this old trike. I don't know if you can hear the birds chirping in the background. Like that is one of two remaining snowbanks out. That I got one way out there that we have left here. It's been a nice warm week. And when you have a nice warm week, the cats come out. So you'll see this guy in the upcoming footage. I bring this 87 Fat Cat home with an 86 motor in it, and I'm in the process of cleaning it, keeping some good parts, and just getting this thing ready to move on to the next home. So I'll tell you more of the story in a minute, and here's what we got for you. So on today's episode of I really should be doing something else with my time at the moment, I've got 3 Fat Cats in the shop. And you might say, oh, I didn't know he had 3 Fat Cats. Well, I've had 2 for a while. I've had this 86. If you watch the channel, you've seen when I brought that home. And I brought this 87 home in the fall of 2020 from my buddy Toby's. And they were complete running riding machines. And they are, for the most part. And so is this. But I just brought this one home from my buddy Donny Buysall, Dr. Don Johnson, whatever alias you want to call him. He cut it loose for me and needed to let it go, but I helped him out by buying it, and I noticed it had original front and rear tires. Maybe they aren't original, but they're correct OEM tires. And it had original side panels. The front fender, this one down here, these are, I believe, DC plastic. This is the one off the 87 to the right. And the rear fender's original, but it's got a crack in it. So why am I telling you these random things? Because this machine, this 87, had full DC plastic on it. And non-OEM fork boots. And this machine had an original front tire, but it's got probably 50% tread life left. This is not correct. This is actually a nice original equipment OEM front tire, and this is a nice OEM rear tire on the back. Well, I guess it's got wear, but this machine's going to donate some things. So we are in full Admiral Swappington mode here. So, for instance, this headlight bezel, this original Honda headlight bezel off this 87 with an 86 motor in it is going to go on this machine. And that headlight bezel is going to go on that machine. And we are swapping around. I've been criticized for my swapping tendencies, that I don't do real mechanic work, but it's not that I don't do real mechanic work. I'm just so busy doing this type of stuff that keeps me occupied. But I wanted to talk about these fork boots and have a discussion about aftermarket fork boots versus OEM fork boots and what the situation is, but I need just a minute before I get into that. Let's talk about fork boots. Some people call them gators, fork booties, whatever. But these are OEM. OEM stands for Original Equipment Manufacturer. MRC Builds likes to say OE, which is totally acceptable too. Original equipment, meaning this is what came on the Fat Cat. Now, most OE fork boots look about like this right now. Now you'll notice the color difference, mainly from UV. These feel dry. You see how dry they are? Like, these ones are not going to survive. Now, if I wanted to just maintain those, I could spray them down with the 303 aerospace that I showed you, and that would darken them up, and that would give you the illusion, make this, you know, a nice 10, 15-foot bike. But you saw that piece just came off. This thing is brittle. Come on. It's dry. It's really spent. So your options are to go on eBay, Amazon. You can't go on Partzilla or anything anymore because these no longer exist. So these are your options. So this is about the correct length, right? And we're not measuring from top of the lower to the bottom of the triple, and plus it factors in with if your machine's on the ground or not. But the correct look for me is the OEM fork boot. Those are okay, better than some options that are out there. But Curdy Eldridge, our boy Curdy, 223 Cycles, he's just bringing to market a more OEM looking fork boot, and he's going to send me some, and I'm going to try them out on that machine. So those fork boots are going to be retired because, like I said, they have seen their better days. Ugh. It's the heartbreak of the vintage Honda world. They've given up the ghost. So, in true Admiral Swappington fashion, these original equipment fork boots are going from this machine onto my 87 Keeper. And the ones off my 87, these guys are going on to this machine because it is not a Keeper. And we are in the process of restoring, or not really restoring, but trying to breathe new life into this. So if you can see, look at those cracks. This is on borrowed time. And these puckers, I'm going to try to work some of this 303 into them, but they might not like being pushed out, but we're going to see what we can do. So that being said, let me make a spot to lay this down like I know what I'm doing. Okay. Let's see if there's a noticeable difference with the 303. I mean, obviously it's going to darken it up. But I'm going to massage that in a little bit. Let it soak in. Work some of those dry areas and see what I can do. And I'll come back with what happened. There you go. Okay. It's been a couple days. I've been working. You'll notice the Fat Cat isn't even in here right now. But we left off on these fork boots. So these were 303'd a few days ago. They're not greasy. 303 doesn't do that. I've pushed those indented areas out. They're holding. These do have some bounce, some rebound to them still, but if they were pushed to the limits, it wouldn't take much to make them fail. So I'll put them on this guy. I seem to be riding the 86 more than the 87. This is the 87. So that'll be good for this. In this little exercise, I should mention this. I've noticed some differences between the 86 Fat Cat and the 87 Fat Cat. They only made this thing 2 years, but they changed wiring harness connections. Like in 87, this is all connections like this. Even back there. In 86, and then you're not going to be able to see it. I should have done this, I guess, when I had it out. They wad a lot of stuff in here. I've learned that. The connections here are like plastic 2-prong, and they're really hard to get undone. And so I don't know if that's why they changed it in 87, but that was one thing I noticed. I know there's swing arm differences. I did a fat cat video that a lot of people watched, and I think I put a lot of misinformation I found on a website into that video, so take everything I say in there with a grain of salt. Take everything I say in general with a grain of salt, for the record. But there are differences. So I finished up this guy. You saw it in the opening segment. I was pressure washing it. The sun has come out, so I left it with the gas tank off. I was bottle feeding it to drive it over to where I pressure wash. I'm going to put the gas tank back on it. The side panels, these are the fork boots that I was talking about in the last segment. So they are on. I've swapped both sets of tires. I was kind of detailing it a little bit while I went. This will be a great candidate to be fully stripped down and restored if somebody wanted to do that, but I'm not going to do that. I've got the bars set unnaturally forward because I noticed these moose bars have a little hole that receives a notch in this. So if you want this oriented up, you got to rock your bars pretty far forward. So I don't think I want to make that call. I don't want to modify that, and I don't want to modify the bars. So I might just leave it set up like that and let the next owner make that call. I hot stapled this because that was cracked. I magic erasered it, so that took a lot of the staining out. I've got the front sprocket cover. I've just got to put it on, and I just got to get it back together. I'm going to take some pictures. Hopefully the sun will come back out so I can post this thing for sale. But for now, I got to go get that gas tank and the side panels. So here we go. Well, we have got our work done. So here it is. Not a bad looking unit. I put new brake shoes on it. I swapped the fork boots on it. Put a new battery in it. Headlight bezel and side pieces were swapped from other bikes I have. Front wheel and tire and rear wheel and tire were swapped from other bikes I have. I'm going to get her down on the front lawn and take some pictures. Here we go. For sale pictures have been taken. Did a little walk around. She cooperated nice for me. These are neat machines. I know I joke around and say they're the most dangerous Honda, and they're a little squirrely. Man, look at the lake. Am I right? Am I right? Oh wow, just got distracted. Okay. But yeah, these are a little squirrely. They if the front tire starts to push through snow or mud or something, that back tire will want to spin, and then it comes around on you. So that's the only downside to these things. But that being said, thanks for watching. I noticed a couple of these staples must have pulled when I was riding it a little bit, so I'll blast in some fresh ones to get that a little bit more secured for the next guy. And that's where we're going to leave it for today. But thanks so much for watching. It has been a beautiful spring so far here. We are having unusually warm weather. I don't know if it's 80, but it's getting there. But the lake is coming up. So this is a reservoir, a little history lesson. You can say goodbye if you want to now, or if you want to hear me talk real quick about the Great Sacandaga Reservoir. It's, people call it a lake, but you know, the nerds will say it's not a lake, it's a reservoir. It was built in 1927, and the gates to the dam were closed in 1929, and it started to fill. And the purpose of this reservoir is to hold water back from the Hudson River this time of year. So as all the snow is melting off the Adirondack Mountains, this is the Sacandaga River, the largest tributary to the Hudson River. in the turn of the century, there'd be a lot of flooding that would occur down around the Albany area and do millions and millions of dollars of damage. So the government, in all their infinite wisdom, stole a bunch of land from the farmers that lived in this area. They paid it market value and created a lot of heartbreak for the people that lived below the taken line, which is right about where I'm standing. So technically I am not on my own property. The way they set this up, the Hudson River Black River Regulating District owns this portion of property because it is below the taken line. So like my dock stairs, I got to get permission. I said, please let me build stairs, please, sir. And they say, okay, you can build stairs, but you can't put any concrete in the ground. You can't do any permanent anchoring of your structure. Yes, massa, yes. So that's what we do. We ask permission, or we do things when nobody's looking. I don't do that. But anyway, that's the lake. So it's come up 10 feet since April 1st. I was down here working on my stairs April 1st, and now there's like 8 or 9 steps underwater. So just like it comes up, it goes down over the course of the summer, and that's how we end up with areas like the mud flats. So when you see me ride out there in the fall, that is land that was purchased by the state, and those people were displaced to other areas. But back to this fat cat. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. I'll keep you posted. If you are interested in this machine, you will see it on Facebook Marketplace. I will be posting it this afternoon. I'll be posting this video probably right after that. So get it while it's hot, upstate New York. And I'll list all the details in the for sale ad. But again, have a great day. We'll catch you later.